The next page I'm going to go over, at the top it says Fumigation Instructions. There's a lot of writing on this page and I'm going to go over all that with you. Under no circumstances must you enter a property during fumigation. This is pretty self-explanatory, but you'll notice on the outside there'll be warning notices all around your property with red skull and crossbones on them. If one or more of those notices are on the outside of your home, please do not enter your home by any way, not through a window. It's not a pleasant experience, so we do not want you to go inside your home. So under no circumstances must you enter your home. All plants, any indoor plants, must be taken outside. If you leave indoor plants inside, they absolutely will die. Make sure that when you put them outside, wherever you put them, that they're going to be sheltered from the elements, because of course hot sun can also kill them as well. Make sure all your pets are accounted for, no matter what you have. Your pet lizard, your pet tarantula, pet snake, whatever it is, make sure they are taken out and accounted for. We cannot fumigate with any pets inside. If you do have fish in a fish tank, they can be left inside. However, we are not responsible for them being alive at the end of the fumigation. However, most fish do survive. But again, we accept no responsibility for that. We do advise if they are some treasured fish in a large tank that you make appropriate arrangements for them. Any mattresses that are completely enclosed in plastic must be taken outside. This is pretty rare, but these are mattresses that may be in the large plastic bags for storage and things like that. Just open up those plastic bags. Regular mattresses, water beds and things like that are absolutely fine. If you have any crib mattresses or mattresses from a crib that are now on a toddler bed, they actually need to be taken out with you. We cannot do the fumigation with those mattresses inside because by nature they are waterproof. All your food items, anything and everything that is orally ingested must be bagged, and I'm going to go over the bagging at the end of this presentation. They must be bagged or taken out with you. There are some exceptions. Any food in a can, any unopened soda, or anything that's pressurized, like pickles in a jar that pop when you open them, they're okay to be left as long as they're unopened. Everything else must be bagged or taken out with you. For example, peanut butter, whether it's open or unopened, must be bagged or taken out. It's not pressurized. Don't forget about all your spices and sugar and all those things, your baking soda in the refrigerator. All that must be bagged or taken out with you, whether it's opened or unopened. This does include all food in the refrigerator and freezer, and at the end of the presentation I'll go over some great tips on how to do that, and so it shouldn't take you too long. But again, anything orally ingested must be taken out. If you have any wine bottles, they can be left inside as long as they are unopened, they have a cork in them, and they are stored horizontally. If it's any other type of wine, wine with a screw cap, wine in a box, wine that's been opened, it must be bagged and taken out with you. All liquor must be taken out or bagged. You need to be prepared to leave once our crew arrives. It's very difficult to give exact times for a fumigation, so we ask people to be prepared to leave by 8 a.m. We do need access to all areas inside the property, so please make sure there are no locked doors, no locked gates, no locked safes, no locked drawers, no locked cupboards. If you do have a safe, you have a couple of options. You can take the entire safe out with you. You can take out your valuables and leave the safe open, or you can wait for our supervisor on the job to show up. He takes a quick look inside the safe and then you can close it back up. The reason for this is because by law we have to check every single area inside the property being fumigated where anything alive could be. So if you have a safe large enough for a hamster, then we need to check inside there to make sure there's nothing alive inside. You'll notice when you come back in that all your drawers and cabinets will be open just a little bit. This is to make sure that the gas gets in everywhere and gets out from everywhere, but also we check everywhere to make sure there are no food items inside the property, and that's for your safety as well. We specifically check in nightstands. We always find gum and Tic Tacs and ibuprofen and all those kinds of things by the side of the bed, so we want to make sure that all your food items are bagged. The time for ventilation does vary, meaning the time it takes the gas to leave every building that we do is a little different. The time that we've given you to get back into your home is always approximate, and we usually don't have any issue with this, but we will not let you in until we get a 0 reading of gas. Most likely you'll be able to get in by 5 o'clock on the day of re-entry, and we have rarely had any issues with that. But the time it takes the gas to leave, each building is a little different, and we will not let you in until we get a 0 reading on our monitors. We will arrange with the gas company to shut your gas off the morning of the fumigation. You do not need to be there for that. Please make sure the gas meter is accessible, no locked gates, for example. There can be no dogs in the yard. And the gas company will just shut your meter off externally and tag it specifically for fumigation. Even if your gas service is already off, maybe it's a vacant home, we still need the gas company to come out. It's a special tag that they put on specifically for fumigation. We will also schedule with the gas company to turn your gas service back on. This is performed the morning, the day after you get back into the home. So keep in mind when you get back into your home on the day of re-entry that you may not have any hot water or gas until the following morning. Now, an adult over the age of 18 does need to be there for the gas company to turn the gas service back on. And we will make those arrangements with the gas company. They will be there anytime between 7 a.m. and noon. And if you want to make other arrangements with the gas company, that's perfectly fine and you can call them. But please don't arrange for them to show up to turn your gas service back on earlier than we have recommended. Later is fine. Make sure your air conditioning, heating, alarm systems, and all those kinds of things are turned off. Heating and air conditioning not to come on at any temperature whatsoever. Everything must be shut off. It does say here on number 6 that we request that homeowners remove their satellite dishes. It's very rare that homeowners do remove their satellite dishes. Please keep in mind we are not responsible for realigning them if they do come out of alignment, which is pretty rare. Most of them are on there pretty tight. We do avoid them and try and make the seams of the top around them so the satellite dish actually sticks up out of them. But just keep in mind that we're not responsible for realigning them. But we do try our very best not to move them. We do fumigate quite a few buildings each day, so any times that we give you or anyone gives you are always approximate. Every job takes a little bit at different times. Some jobs are quicker than others, so any time we give you is approximate, but we will be there. And the time that we show up to start the fumigation has no effect at all on when you get back into your home after the fumigation. Fumigations cannot be performed during inclement weather. Heavy rain, strong winds, things like that. So we'll keep an eye on the weather forecast, and I'm sure you'll do the same. If there's anything of concern on both of our ends, we'll be in touch and we'll talk about it, and if it needs to be postponed, we'll do so. Please keep in mind we're not responsible for any lodging costs or kennel costs or any other costs involved if the fumigation has to be postponed because of inclement weather. It's just unfortunately out of our control, but we'll keep an eye on the weather forecast and we'll see if anything needs to be discussed. We do need to walk on the roof surface, and we are not responsible for any damage to the roof. We do try our very best. We are extremely careful. Usually homes with comp shingle roofs and flat roofs and things like that, rarely would we have any issue with those. Occasionally, homes with tile roofs, there may be the odd tile that does get cracked or broken, and we'll let you know afterwards if that happened, or if we have any issues of concern that maybe there will be a lot of breakage, we'll let you know before the fumigation. But generally, there's usually no issues. We do many tile roof homes without breaking any tiles, but occasionally there are some tiles that are very brittle, but we'll let you know beforehand. We do ask that the occupant, if you could water around your home the day before the fumigation, especially where there's plants and dirt and soil. That helps for 2 reasons. One is any plants that are there gives them the best chance of survival. We get a nice deep watering so the roots of the plant are soaked, and that gives them the best chance of survival. Secondly, the gas that we use is not water soluble, so when we have the tarp coming down to the bottom, it helps us get a better seal and keep more gas inside there. We usually do more watering when we get there, but it doesn't give a deep watering. The best is 1 or 2 days before the fumigation to get a deep watering. But please don't make it muddy. That also does create other problems for us. So just a nice, gentle, deep watering a few days before will really help us out. Damages may be unavoidable to plants close to the building. We do try our very best and go through great lengths to try and avoid damaging any plants with the gas, the fumigation. but we are not responsible for damage to plants. But please trust that we will do our very best to avoid any unnecessary damage to plants. If there's any large trees or anything like that that we feel may be affected by the fumigation, we will let you know beforehand so that you can make a knowledgeable decision on what you want to do. If you plan on leaving a car inside the garage, you must either leave us the key, or you need to leave the windows down and the trunk open. Again, this comes down to we need to check every area inside the home where anything alive could be before the fumigation. So if you plan on leaving a car inside the garage, leave the windows down and the trunk open. Keep in mind, if the light comes on when you leave the trunk open, that may wear down your battery, so you may want to disconnect the battery, or just leave us the key, in which case we can open it up, take a look, and then lock it up again. And that's completely up to you. We must have electricity and water, or the job will be cancelled. Electricity is very important. We set up fans inside the home, so we do need electricity. It's extremely important, and again, we do need water, so we can water around the home. If you have any automatic lights on sensors, lights that come on timers or anything like that, we ask that you turn them off. We don't want any lights to come on. If you have a light, for example, outside your front door that comes on a sensor and you don't have a switch for it, if you could just unscrew the light bulb, that would really help us so that no lights come on during the fumigation. Like I said before, the time for ventilation does vary. The gas that we use, sulfuryl fluoride, is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. We add a warning agent to it called chlorpicrin, also known as tear gas. We introduced the tear gas beforehand, and a few people are hypersensitive to tear gas. So when you come back into your home, it's been closed up for a few days. The first thing you want to do is turn on any fans, open the doors and windows, just let the house air out for 10 minutes. We don't monitor for the tear gas, but we do monitor for the sulfuryl fluoride. And I assure you that we get a 0 reading for sulfuryl fluoride. But if you notice your eyes get a little irritated or scratchy throat, just step outside. It should go away instantly. Wait 10 minutes, let the house air out, and then everything should be fine. If you have any concerns, of course, give us a call. And one of the main areas for concentration of the chlorpicrin, which is the tear gas, if you have any areas that have a lot of clutter, a lot of bags and things like that, it can collect there for a little while. So just keep that in mind. It's extremely rare. I don't think we hardly ever get a call regarding this, but I just want you to keep that in mind for your comfort and safety.